Hello and welcome. My name is Robert Kintigh, and I want to welcome you here today to another exciting episode of what it's going to take to live just an incredible life. As always, this is brought to you by Truth Mastery, and today we're going to talk about defining your why. Now, let's face it, life gets hard. No matter if you love your life or you're struggling through life, life gets hard no matter what level you're at. And here's something that's very important for us to discuss today, and that is, how do we not only get through those tough situations, but how do we thrive and come out on the other side stronger and better than when we went into it? There's a lot of things that you could talk about, but here's the one thing that I've always figured out that is the most important key ingredient in life when it comes to these situations, and that is, you must define your why. Okay? Defining your why is like a never-ending fuel. It's like motivation that never stops. It is a mental focus for you that will help carry you through into many situations. So let's move on and talk about what is the why. Well, the why it's a singular focus that will keep you understanding mentally, day in and day out, why you're doing what you do. Okay? So, someone says, well, do we only have one why? No, most people have more than one why. In fact, probably everyone does, but most people don't define it. They just kind of know it, or they think they have something, that they're focusing on. But you truly need to focus in on the why, because it's going to help you in so many situations in your life. Okay? So what motivates you? Because that's really what the question comes down to. And it's not something like, hey, I love ice cream, and then you eat the ice cream and then it's done. Well, if you keep eating the ice cream, right, you're going to be 400 pounds before you know it. So, but it can't be something that's just, I get it, I do it, and then I'm done, and then the motivation drops off. That's normal everyday life. We're talking about extraordinary life. We're talking about going out there and really getting something that's going to fuel you up forever. For me, it's my family. For me, it's I wanted to write a book, and I did. Now I want to write more books, which I am. I want to help a lot of people. See, I have several whys, and that's what motivates me is these things. And this is where my brain focuses from the second I wake up and put my feet on the ground. My mind is focused on the why in life. So what is your why? Well, it's not for me to figure out for you. I'm giving you some ideas about things, but the reality is, in order for your why to be powerful, you got to be powerful in understanding your why and designing your why. If you'll do that, it's amazing what's going to come out of your everyday, normal life, right? Because what we hope to do at Truth Mastery is we hope to take ordinary people and help them do extraordinary things. And your why is going to help you do just that. So let's just take an example. Let's just say your why is your family. Okay, so you say, okay, great, I got my why defined. Now what? Well, what we have to do now is really perfect it, because if you don't, it's sort of like waiting for a storm to show up and then you board the windows up. Right? We have to perfect your why after we understand it before the storm ever occurs. Okay? And by doing that, that's what's going to give us the most strength, the most power to fight that downturn in life, that moment of stress that is just debilitating you, that tragedy that's going to occur in your life, that, the sour moment in life where something just is just not right. You perfect your why, so you not only say, hey, my family is my why, but here's why my family is my why. I love watching my son's face light up. I love watching my daughter excel. I love how my family feels loved. That's perfecting your why, and it's very, very important. Now, the same thing happens, let's say, with your career. It's kind of like, okay, my career is my why, but here's how I'm going to perfect it. Here's what I'm looking to further. I want to be able to achieve these goals. I want to be able to hit my sales figures, every 3, 6, 9, and 12 months. Here's what's going to, make it even more exciting is I'm going to turn it into a game. You're going to perfect your why in order for it to be the strongest that it can be. So when is it okay to change your why? Well, most people don't completely change their why totally, but let's take the family as an example. When you're younger, your family is your why, and that perfection comes from, I want to watch them grow up and to be, good boys and girls. I want to watch them excel in school, and I want to help protect them and when, bad is trying to happen, and I want to help change their mind when they're really looking at things negative. Now, what happens when they grow up and they get married? Does your whole why just go out the window? Well, some people might. But what most people will do is they'll change that why to conform to where the stage is that their kids are at now and their spouse. Okay? And it's okay to tweak it at that point. Some people, let's take a stay-at-home mom or a dad, for example. Your why is one thing, and then all of a sudden, maybe when the kids are like 12 or 14, you say, you know what? I've been home with them all their young lives. Now they're in school full-time. They're in activities. I'm going to go back and get a career. Doesn't mean that you're not going to still focus on the children as your why, but it now just changes to include your career path. So, don't think of it as a bad thing of changing your why. Think of it as, it's ever evolving. And the whole point is, and I can't stress this enough, it's your fuel to jump out of bed and attack the day. Because that's so important. Because if you're not attacking the day, you're just getting through the day, and we don't want that for you. So defining your why is forever fuel. It's biofuel, right? It's green, it's good for everybody, and it doesn't let you down, and you won't flatten out, and you won't collapse. And that's so, so, so important when you're trying to thrive in life, to live your best life, to design a life that you desire. You need a fuel that's not going to stop. That's what happens to a lot of people. And I'll take seminars for a perfect example. And I was just as guilty, not only when I used to attend seminars, but as I used to put them on. They were a big pump session. Okay, well, I'd go there. Maybe the seminar was for 2 hours, or maybe it was for 4, maybe it was 8, maybe it was 3 days. And the whole time we're just getting pumped, full of motivation and all this great stuff. And then it would be over, and I'd walk back to the car, and I could just feel it deflating as I was heading towards the car and turning the key in the ignition. Well, what if you could live that way all the time? What if that pump session was 365 a day, 24 hours a day? What would you do then? That's what your why can do for you. That's why understanding, defining, refining this why is so, so important, because it's forever fuel. You get to keep it and use it on a daily basis. And when you feel yourself starting to flatten out, maybe you're not as focused on your why, so you got to re-engage. You got to revisit how you got here to begin with. But that forever fuel, that's how you win in life. That's how you jump out of bed each and every day. That's how you jump out of bed and you're thankful for the things that are in your life. So hopefully we've made it clear about why this is so important. But let me just say this, as we're closing out this audio, and that is, a lot of times that we look at things in a certain way and we say, okay, well, I got it. It's in my brain and it's done. But what I would urge you to do is this. Here's your action item for today. I would urge you to actually go and sit down, pull out an old-fashioned pen and pad, or jump on a Word doc or whatever you use. But let's put it in writing. And let's date it. And let's put down our whys. Let's start with our biggest why, a couple of middle whys, and maybe a low-lying why. And let's define them. And then let's refine them. And let's really understand where it is that we're at. So, get to your why, refine it, own it, and live your best life, period. I want to thank you for this time we've spent together. It's been absolutely my pleasure, and I can't thank you enough for tuning in to another audio episode with Truth Mastery. My name is Robert Kintigh. I'm author of The Lies We Tell Ourselves, and I want to thank you very, very much for spending this time. Go out and live your best life.